Do you know the painful reality behind Cher's fame? While Cher is approaching 80, her life is not as glamorous as people believe. Beyond the lights and stardom is a life of instability, grief, and unhealed emotional wounds. You'll see Cher's struggles in this video, which may shake you. Let's begin. Cher was raised in an unsure home. Georgia Holt and John Sarkeesian met young. Georgia was a Fresno donut shop worker, whereas John was a handsome truck driver. Their brief but intense romance ended with a fast Nevada wedding full of youthful enthusiasm and spontaneity. Things didn't go as planned. Georgia abandoned marriage after realizing she didn't want it. After some encouragement, she tried again for 3 months and got pregnant with Cher. Cher was 10 months old when her parents divorced. Cher always valued her Armenian heritage, which her biological father bestowed on her, even if they were not close. With her mother's several marriages, her childhood was full of change. Georgia's third husband, actor John Southall, was Cher's most influential father. However, that marriage terminated when she was 9. Georgia Holt married Cher's biological father twice in 7 marriages. In a 1978 interview, she said that society norms pressured her to marry to retain respectability because living with someone without a marriage was unacceptable. Cher's youth was full of changes, different homes, new boyfriends, and no stability. Her mother tried music and acting, but without success, financial problems arose. Cher's mother placed her in a Catholic orphanage for several weeks at 2 years old while she looked for work and homes. Cher and her half-sister lived with their grandparents for years, moving back and forth as their mother suffered financially. Her early years were difficult emotionally and financially. Cher told Vanity Fair in 2010 that she felt humiliated of her outdated clothes and was punished for ruining her shoes because the family couldn't afford new ones. She remembers using rubber bands to keep her shoes together in school. There were also unexpected contrasts. They went from canned stew and beans to Beverly Hills in a week. These tremendous shifts left young Cher torn between dreams and hard realities. Though difficult and unpredictable, these early experiences helped shape the lady the world came to admire. Cher was contradictory in her teens. Despite her attractive features and lively attitude, she often felt like an outsider. She had a vivid dream. She would become renowned. Cher imagined where she would live, what she would wear, and how she would perform for thousands, while other teens focused on classes or social life. Her heart wasn't in school, but ambition wasn't it. Cher had real learning issues that made school harder. She struggled with reading and writing, and she was underestimated when such issues were poorly understood. She found certain subjects easy and others impossible. Her report cards regularly said she wasn't meeting potential, putting pressure on a system she didn't belong to. Cher made a risky choice in 11th grade at 16. She quit school for her passion. She came to LA with only her dreams and determination. She met music industry professional Sonny Bono there. Their friendship started out practical and platonic. Cher moved into his flat as a housekeeper but grew closer. Their relationship shaped her life afterward. They caught a generation's spirit with their songs. I Got You Babe, their smash hit, became a 1960s love and unity anthem. Sonny and Cher became famous for their chemistry. They built on that success with Baby Don't Go and The Beat Goes On. After becoming famous quickly, the team tried movies. Despite their attempts, Good Times, a 1967 comedy, underperformed. Sonny wrote and produced Chastity, a more dramatic project for Cher, and they persevered. However, the creative and commercial results disappointed them, placing them under strain. Meanwhile, the music world was changing, and their mellow folk-pop style gave way to more experimental sounds. Sonny and Cher lost appeal as audiences moved on. They switched to Las Vegas shows to adapt. They blended music and comedy on stage to create a new persona outside the studio. This was Cher's time of discovery, change, and endurance. It started a path that took her beyond music into television, movies, and an inspiring legacy. Cher and Sonny took a risk amid financial woes. They reinvented themselves as Las Vegas nightclub performers. Their transformation from pop chart toppers to theatrical performers was noteworthy. This pivot was necessary, but it unexpectedly started something new. Ironically, their Las Vegas lounge act, with music, keen humor, and amusing conversation, propelled them back to fame. The show was energized by Cher's witty and acerbic quips. Later, Television noticed the contrast, which audiences adored. The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour debuted in 1971 and was immediately popular. Their chemistry, comedy, and timeless music captivated viewers across. Their personal connection was deteriorating behind the scenes. While both had personal lives outside of marriage, their emotional distance grew. Cher later reflected on how hard it was to pretend everything was all right. However, they stayed together to protect their jobs, reputations, and joint enterprise. Their personal and professional lives became so intertwined that even their closest friends couldn't separate performance from real life. Sonny wrote in his 1973 diary that seeming to be a couple seemed to help keep everything in place. Living under emotional pressure is costly. It was difficult to maintain the facade by 1974. Cher filed for divorce in 1975, ending their legal partnership and marriage. Cher faced personal separation and a life-changing event. She had relied on Sonny to handle finances and business for years, focused on performance. When their partnership ended, she was in financial trouble. She left her marriage with a little and heavy financial obligations. It was terrible for someone who had given the partnership her talent and years of effort. They broke up, ending an era. It was the start of her solo career, but it cost her emotionally and financially. Cher's agonizing shift involved letting go of a decade-long link and beginning afresh with her resilience, voice, and determination to endure. She shone on TV, but few realized the storm she was facing behind the curtain. Cher faced a decision after her breakup with Sonny. She took the spotlight alone for the first time in years. With no partner, no financial security, and a career many thought would fade without the combination that made her famous, Cher, as usual, refused to disappear. She started Cher TV. After being warned she would fail without Sonny, it was a risk. She was startled when the show was a hit. Audiences loved her solo performances, indicating her star power was never dependent on others. Sonny also tried to start the Sonny Comedy Review. Cher's program thrived, but Sonny's suffered and was canceled after one season. Once so similar, their careers had diverged. Although Cher enjoyed success on TV, her music career was harder. Stars, her 1975 album, charted poorly. I'd Rather Believe in You, her 1976 album, failed to chart. She persisted. Cherished, released in 1977, was heartbreakingly familiar. Her album failed to chart again despite her attempts. The challenge was compounded by her musical partnership with her new husband, Southern rock artist Gregg Allman. They recorded To the Hard Way as Allman and Woman. However, neither artist's fans were excited by the record. The project was coldly received and faded. Cher's career slowed in 1978. Warner Brothers terminated her contract, causing confusion. Cher quietly struggled to establish herself again in an industry that loves change but rarely allows it. It tested her talent and resiliency. She showed her resilience after the loss. She had to rise again, this time from professional difficulties that endangered her prominence. Cher had another surprise after divorcing Sonny. She fell in love with Allman Brothers frontman Gregg Allman in 1975. She married Gregg 3 days after divorcing Sonny. A new beginning turned into a difficult chapter. Cher separated 9 days after the wedding. She entered a new world with Gregg, a lifestyle she was unprepared for. Two completely different worlds collided suddenly. Yet, optimism lingered. Gregg wanted to change and build with Cher. He tried to repair the rapid cracks. Though weak, their relationship was intact. Reuniting a month later, the couple tried to make something meaningful again. Challenges persisted. Cher's 1976 decision to rejoin with Sonny for a variety show relaunch strained her marriage to Gregg. Fame, distance, and unsolved tension slowed progress. Gregg divorced, but not forever. Cher soon found she was pregnant. This news changed their relationship again, giving it meaning. They tried again, hoping to start a family. Elijah Blue, their kid, was their light. Tension persisted on the journey. Despite their best attempts, the relationship never found harmony. In 1978, they split permanently. Cher revealed her thoughts on this period years later with few words but immense weight. Their relationship was strong, but their time together was full of trials that changed them. Cher was graceful throughout. She kept the happy and sad memories and went forward slowly. This chapter was about more than a failed marriage. It was about hope, attempting and accepting reality. It taught that even with a willing heart, love is not enough. Cher faced another crossroads after her divorce from Greg Allman. It appeared that her music career was declining and that the industry she formerly commanded was moving on. However, she never gave up. Cher teamed with Casablanca Records, a disco legend, to restore her voice in a changing world. Cher tried a different genre, despite her preference for rock. She recorded Take Me Home with disco rhythms and style. Ironically, the genre she had avoided catapulted her back to the spotlight. Title tune Take Me Home was a welcome hit. It was extravagant and unlike anything she had done before. It works. Cher returned to the public eye as a disco diva after that success. Her look changed, evoking comparisons to genre queens, and she confidently entered this new chapter. But staying on top would be as hard as getting there. Prisoner was her second album that year. She attempted to balance her rock and disco sides in the project. Cher wanted to incorporate more personal, less dance-driven material, but the label disagreed. Thus, the album failed to chart. Cher pursued her passion again, returning to rock music. Black Rose, with her then-partner and musician Les Dudek, formed in 1980. The band sought to provide a raw, authentic rock experience with a stronger sound and rebellious edge. Cher finally got to front a rock band, a long-time desire. One unanticipated obstacle arose. Her name was not on the album cover. She sang powerfully, but fans didn't realize it was her, and the project faded. The band quietly disbanded after poor record sales. The musical cooperation and her personal relationship ended in 1982. Cher remained determined despite these setbacks. She kept trying different things, looking for a place to feel at home again. Trials and tribulations filled this chapter of her life. But it also showed Cher's true nature, a performer who reinvents, rebuilds, and rises even when no one is looking. Cher made a brave choice after music and personal heartbreaks. Acting became her new priority. A job change and a leap of faith at a time when she could have quietly retreated. She played a supporting role in Silkwood, 1983, with Meryl Streep and Kurt Russell. Cher's performance in the strong, passionate story based on Karen Silkwood's life surprised audiences and critics. Her performance garnered her a Golden Globe and Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Many viewed Cher for the first time as a genuine actor with depth, range, and emotion, not merely a singer or performer. A turning point. She built her Hollywood reputation over the next few years. Her roles in critically praised films like Mask and Suspect showed her ability to handle drama and complex characters. She established her position in cinematic history in 1987. Cher's love comedy, Moonstruck, changed everything that year. Cher played Loretta Castorini, a widowed Italian-American woman trapped between reason and love, with charm and emotion. The film's warmth, comedy, and emotional honesty touched audiences worldwide, and Cher's unequaled presence and authenticity earned the Academy Award for Best Actress. It went beyond a trophy, a powerful statement. She became one of the most recognized actors after being doubted, discarded, and defined by her background. This era in Cher's life was more than a success. Transformation was involved. It was the culmination of struggle, reinvention, and tenacity. She started over, and she won. She felt out of place in school, young woman with rubber shoestrings. A performer said she would die without her boyfriend. She topped Hollywood alone. Cher's acting career reached its peak with honors, praise, and dramatic parts. But life took another turn. Cher became ill while filming The Witches of Eastwick in 1987. The symptoms started a little, but grew unavoidable. Fatigue turned into a significant health issue that would plague her life for years. Cher was known for her enthusiasm and strength, but a virus debilitated her body and spirit. The cost was much more than apparent. Her sickness deteriorated to pneumonia, forcing her to quit work. She was immobile for 2 years. She couldn't sing. She turned down roles. Her body prevented her from pursuing her dream roles. She later told the New York Times how emotionally and physically terrible that period was. "I was furious," she said. Who can blame her? Work so hard, get so high, and be halted by something out of your control. Heartbreak builds silently, away from cameras and praise. Cher had to rebuild after returning. From the start. This chapter had no public drama or headlines. It was defined by silent anguish, hidden strength, and a lady learning to rise again after a pause. As Cher built her solo music and film career, Sonny Bono changed, surprising many who had followed their journey. Sonny left entertainment in the late 1980s and entered a new field, politics. He became Palm Springs mayor in 1988. The man who performed with Cher on stages and TV worldwide had a remarkable new chapter. Sonny wanted to change things. After rising in politics, he was elected to Congress in 1994 to represent California's 44th district. He gained respect and responsibility in a new role apart from the show industry. Cher never forgot Sonny's importance in her life, even if their relationship ended. Their connection shaped her and a generation. No one was ready for what followed. Sonny died in a skiing accident in Aspen, Colorado, while on vacation. The incident shocked the world. Cher was the most affected. Cher rushed from London to Los Angeles to be with her family after hearing. As a mourner, she stood before friends, relatives, and the public at Sonny's memorial service. The emotion of her eulogy was strong. She cried as she honored Sonny's vision, brilliance, and how he had turned a quiet 16-year-old girl and himself into one of their time's most beloved entertainment duos. She spoke about remaining respect and thanks, not previous stress or pain. She reminded the world that behind the comedy, music, and spectacle was a man with aspirations and the fortitude to chase them, even in unexpected areas. It brought closure, introspection, and humanity. Cher's voice quivered, but she spoke steadily, honoring a complicated chapter that had shaped her life. Motherhood was undoubtedly Cher's most difficult position, despite her global celebrity and fortune. She adored her children, but her business required long hours, continual travel, and a constant spotlight. Sometimes it was hard to bridge the distance. In a touching 2014 interview, her youngest son, Elijah Blue Allman, described growing up with a famous mother. He was sent to boarding school at age 7, a difficult decision.